So we have a Luna being buffed right now, and with Luna being buffed, we have Dark Force being used at 3 turns, and the difference between that is that Luna can use her skill 3 at the middle wave, so at the mid boss, and then also at the final boss, without having to take a turn in between. With that happening, it is a lot more chill where you can use Luna, and you have to keep in mind Luna has to move in front of the homunculus. Why does the Luna move in front of the homunculus, you might ask? Well, Luna will always go for skill 3, whereas the homunculus might go for a skill 1 if he moves first. Luna will always go skill 3, and then the homunculus moves after, so therefore moves at the boss being at a lower HP rate, and therefore has more chance to go for an S2 or S3, hence the Luna moving first. So this is just the most typical team with the Tesher out there, and it's just pretty... Oh yeah, wait, I don't need the 100 crit rate on the Luna. I messed up that part. My Luna is on a handicap, and therefore it's 100 crit rate. I already built the Luna for the build that you need later, but in this case, if the Luna moves here, it's totally fine. I gave her a little bit of a handicap, and yeah, from that, it's just clearing the things as normal. It's as good as normal. Let's see how fast we go for average. So we have Dark Force over there nearly already killing the thing. So definitely a very nice one. I would keep the homunculus in. I have heard a lot of people say like, oh, I can replace the Luna with, or I can replace my homunculus with a Luna. No, replace the Luna with your 5th slot, not with the homunculus slot. Because if your Prilia fails, you want to keep that Luna in, or you want to keep that homunculus in to just be able to clear the boss if your Prilia fails, because your Prilia will fail from time to time. Actually, if I made my Luna on higher damage, then I probably wouldn't even need the homunculus in there at all, because the Luna would just straight up clear the boss. So you could say if you do have a GBah that you can go for a GBah team. So this would probably be looking at like 26-second average-ish for most people. And I would definitely recommend most people to actually be running this team. So yeah, I think it's just a pretty solid team out there. But I'm going to be looking at a version in a second where there's still a few people that do not have a Tesher. Can you actually do this with the Julie? Julie plus probably an Akamamir. That's the most free-to-play option out there. And then see how that works. But just for the sake of it, I kind of want to check if we put a GBah to this, how it would look like then. Let's see how this works out. This is still the same. This Tesher will not be in range for killing in his own hits, which could be a thing. Well, he kills with that, but he doesn't kill like in 1 turn, which he could with the lower damage that I had previously. So let's see how much this does. Yeah, this is definitely going to kill, by the way. Like from here, you probably full tap the boss easy. So yeah, is fight runes necessary for this team? No, it's not necessary, not at all. So yeah, with the GBah, it would be like a 24-second average unless your Prilia derps, and then you're looking at longer runs. I would recommend, even for that 2-second faster, it is probably still better to go for a... okay, not sure what happened there. But yeah, I would still keep the homunculus in, because if things go weird and that kind of stuff, the homunculus is just a lot better for just saving your run if things go bad. So keeping the homunculus, if you put more damage to the Luna than I have, because I overstack my Luna on crit rate by quite a lot, which is not necessary, then you can do a lot more damage, and then the Luna can probably kill even without a GBah on the field. So okay, so I did run up this team right now with a Julie on my highest damage set for Fatal, Luna on the highest damage set for Rage. This thing is still triple fight. This thing is still triple fight. This thing is actually too low crit rate right now. I should fix the crit rate, but I'll do that later. And then, well, same for the homunculus actually. And then this thing is going to be the helper of the wave clears. But I don't really think that missing crits on the Prilia and the homunculus is going to matter that much for right now. But it is something that I would have to check later. Wait, why is the Luna faster? Whoops. Wait, did I make the Luna too fast? Okay, that's 1 speed faster. I did remove the accuracy. I would recommend to get the accuracy a little bit higher than that, because the skill 2 pushback is pretty nice, and the skill 3 heal block actually makes him get extra damage as well. So it is useful to actually get him some accuracy. Okay, now we have enough. We do enough damage for that one. It might be somewhat difficult to do enough damage on those, but I think that we're looking at a pretty clean run, and this is full free to play. I think this is the best team you can get full free to play. But the issue is that that unit, it's, yeah, the Akamamir can go for an S1 on the bosses. Wow, 20 seconds? Whoa, wait, what? Wait, I was expecting like 24, 25-ish. But if you run this all the time at 20-second average, that's actually insane. I think there's one way to speed this up a little bit using a Mephisto rather than the Akamamir, because Mephisto will always go for skill 1, and skill 1 is actually good damage as well. Okay, that was a little bit slower, but that's actually pretty fast. Wow, Jesus. 22 seconds. This is definitely faster than my previous average. So the Julie Luna team will be stronger than the Tesha team. You do need better runes for sure. Or yeah, it will be more difficult on the rune quality. You could once again put GBah for the homunculus. That's absolutely a possibility. The only issue is that you run into the issue where if your Prelia decides to derp, your run is going to be get shit. That's just kind of the thing. Someone was saying, can you make the Prelia move after the Julie? It is an option, but I think you should still have, you have a little bit of extra damage from Julie as well. So I would recommend to keep in that extra damage from the Julie as well. Okay, for this, I think that this only does work with the Mephisto. So let's actually check out the Mephisto after this. Because in this case, if this guy doesn't go for his S2, we're not going to do enough damage. But I think with the Mephisto, this might actually work. So this one is completely messed up, more or less. You do good damage, though. But let's actually, we can one-to-one translate this whole set to a Mephisto, pretty sure. Let's actually check that out. Wait, you don't have crit awakening. Oh, that's shit. I can't translate one-to-one. Okay, I have pretty high hopes for this team, because this will probably be the team that I'm using if it's safe enough, because Mephisto can be your fail-safe, where Mephisto can solo the dungeon itself as well, where kind of the same thing as the homunculus would have been doing otherwise. Not enough damage still. I actually kind of expected more damage from that. That kind of sucks. Because now the GBah needed to move, and that actually slows down the whole run by a bit. Okay, that kind of works. I'm not sure if I can make my Prelia better, because my Prelia, I don't think I need the exact speed on the Prelia right now. Funny enough, the Akamamir team was faster than we just did on like the 20 seconds when it was doing like the good run. But I do like this one a bit more than Akamamir, because Akamamir can S1. And Akamamir S1 does not enough damage on mid-boss. And Akamamir can't really solo the end of the boss, whereas a Mephisto can. So if the Prelia does derp, he will fix the run. I think I actually lack damage rather there than doing too much damage. Not sure. Well, Prelia's inconsistent right now because she sometimes does crit, sometimes doesn't crit. So it's pretty big fluctuation in that. But even if GBah has to move, it's still 22 seconds, which isn't too bad. So probably this will be my new run, how I will be running it. I'll just use Light Demon. Light Demon can absolutely work for this. Yeah, this would make Light Demon once again very good. No, it's 50%. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens if we do this. Full-on derp run. Can Mephisto win? Because that is the scenario that is pretty interesting. It takes 40 less on... okay, fair. Okay, if the Mephisto gets the shield, so yeah, Mephisto, even on like a full-on fucked-up run, if he doesn't get credit on here, though. Okay, he still dies. So yeah, that's kind of the issue with the Mephisto, where I still like to keep homunculus in. Sure, this run went pretty bad and I got credit on twice. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind as well. Been testing quite a bunch with this team in general. There was one issue I walked into where you had the Prelia do too much damage on the middle boss, where you would get into the threshold of the passive, which is 40% less damage. And therefore, it was that the homunculus sometimes needed to do also the hit on that, and that made it like 23-second-ish kind of style. In this case, we don't have the homunculus ever moving. This team could fail because Mephisto is not the best at soloing this, but I think I will keep this team as is for now, because it's 20.5 second flat. The only issue is if Prelia were to move, or Prelia would not land an armor break, it might be a bad thing that it just doesn't work. Or it's just like my team dies. But I think the Mephisto can kind of clean up. However, if he gets armor broken and critted on twice, it's kind of bad. So yeah, that's kind of the thing that you just saw where I do a little bit too much damage. And the issue is Prelia S2, 1, 2, or 3 has like very big damage fluctuations. Julie also hitting with an S2 does a lot more than an S1. So you have a little bit of damage fluctuation in that mid boss for that reason. And I have that a lot more with the homunculus. So with the homunculus, it was running into that issue all the time, and I was getting like 23 seconds all the time. Unless the Aprilia was doing S2. But then if you lower the damage a lot by the Aprilia for the S2, then you would do too little damage if it does S3. So in this case, even if I do over damage it by over 50%, the Luna is still able to clear up. So that's kind of the way that I'm playing this right now. And I think I should just put the maximum amount of damage on the Aprilia back, because at some point I was kind of juggling around, like lowering the damage on the Aprilia, putting more like resistance on water or some shit. But I think in this team, I can just purely go full on the damage on Aprilia. I'll be showing the runes right now, and then after that, I will also be typing out some stuff of what team I recommend you to use based on runes you have, units you have, and that kind of stuff, because I did showcase a bunch of teams in this video, and yeah, people are going to be like, okay, what the hell, which team should I use right now? Do not be discouraged by rune quality that I show right now. I think the only thing that actually needs good rune quality is the Luna. After that, I would say that it's pretty much just that. Also, if you don't have the rune quality of the Luna, just go back to the Tesha team with the Luna, but I'll write that out in a notepad, which teams I recommend you to use in a second. We're just going to showcase the runes right now. So starting off with the Julie. My Julie actually best set is a Fatal one. I have been farming a lot of Giants, so my Fatal set, plus you're focusing mainly on additional damage by attack. I happen to have a good one that is paired with damage on water, so that helps out a lot. Right side artifact is non-existing. This is freaking Blue's Clues. It's terrible, but yeah, it's mainly the left artifact that's doing good for me, and you want to aim for as much attack and then additional damage by attack. You can definitely do a lot less damage than this. It's totally fine, especially if you use the Mephisto. If you use the Akamamir version, I think you do need a decent amount of damage, but Akama or Mephisto skill 2 does do a lot of damage, so it's totally fine on that. I made Mephisto on fight, and then you want to aim for high crit damage and then high stats on like everything else. For the speeds on this team, you don't care about any speed, you just have to outspeed the whole thing. So that's 169 combat speed, aka 153 or 154 speed on most units. You don't care about any of the speeds. It did actually make Julie in the next tick. It is not necessary. You can just make the whole team on the exact same speed of 154. They just have to be in the right tuning, but you don't care about any speed. You just have to outspeed. That's all there is to it, because there's no mechanics of overlapping and blah, blah, that kind of stuff that you do happen to have with the Kona team. So for this one, the Aprilia also doesn't care about being plus 84 in this. You just want the 85 crit rate and then the 35 accuracy. Luna I did showcase already was the high damage one with then crit damages and then water and then also more crit damages. In this case, the Deborah, I think I want to build like a glass cannon Deborah that can maybe like clean up the boss, or maybe you want to go for a more sustaining Deborah that the armor break is still more worthy on the boss at the end. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with that. Deborah is max accuracy on the S2 though with the artifact of S2, so that definitely does help out. If you were to run a homunculus, I would definitely go for a homunculus that is also probably triple fight. It's not really a necessity, but it does help out a little bit. So triple fight on this thing also does help. I would say that I will write out the teams right now and then also kind of what I think the averages are and then also what rune quality is with them. So let me grab the notepad. First of all, if you have no runes, you go for Teshar. Also in turn order wise, I'm gonna keep the turn order as it is. So let's say Brill, yeah, Teshar, Kona, Luna, Homu. If you have no runes, you go for this. That's just the easiest way. If you have no Teshar, you go for the wait, does it make sense? Does make sense? Yeah, so if no Teshar, you would go for the Brill, Julie, I would say Mephisto, and then we go for Luna, Homu. Let's say that can we make this a little bit bigger? That's what she said. Ah, giggity. Okay, keep in mind this. So, and then if you could say, no, Mephisto, then you would go, I think it's going to be like this. And then we can also write the teams or the speeds that I expect on those. I would expect this one to run about like 26, 27. I expect this one to run 23 to 23, or 20 to 23. And then the Akamamir one, I kind of expect it to be a little bit slower. I would say 23-ish. So yeah, I think it will be something along this line. So if you have no runes, but you do have a Tesher, I would definitely go for this team. Keep in mind that the Luna has to move in front of the Homunculus. I explained earlier in the video why. If you have no Tesher, but you do have good runes, you also, if you do happen to have this, if you just have good runes, this would be faster in the end, but you can make kind of a choice on that. So yeah, this team, I would say the 23 seconds is more of the Homunculus version. The 20 seconds is more for the GBah version. Keep in mind that it could fill a little bit. If you have no Mephisto, no Tesher, but good runes, then you could go for like a 23. I think it's probably 23 to 25-ish by my estimation. It kind of depends if you go for the Homunculus or the GBah in there. I think it will be a little bit less good because the Akamamir can go for skill 1 rather than a skill 2, which makes it a little bit worse. But I think it's still pretty nice. So these are the teams with the Luna in there. Keep in mind, Luna moves in front of the Homunculus or in front of everything because Luna has the perfect AI, and therefore Luna will always go for skill 3, and then the other unit can go up for skill 3 later as well. But I think I will be running this team for the most of it, unless I get a lot of fails on it. So currently I will be running this for myself. But if I get a lot of fails, I would go for the Homunculus team. That's kind of the thing that I will be looking at. Yeah, also, like, people that have Lucifer, Lucifer is absolutely a cheat. So if you put Lucifer in here, Lucifer is absolutely the cheat code. Use Lucifer. Like before, when Tesher was like the only thing that was good, you couldn't really fit in a Lucifer in any PvE dungeon, like, as best in slot. In this case, Lucifer becomes the absolute best in slot for this one. So that's definitely an interesting one. If you happen to have a Brill Zerath, I'm not sure how that would work, but I think that would be fucking OP as well. I'm not entirely sure how it would work because your Lucifer probably wouldn't even move. It would just do S2 in the mid boss, which I don't think is good or bad, but that's definitely an option that you could look at. But there's not too many people that actually have Lucifer plus Zerath. But those are things that you could play around with. I think that those are pretty much the fastest teams out there right now. But so far, I'm liking my 20-second average team. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this kind of videos, like this video and subscribe to the channel. And see you as always in the next one. Okay, end of the video. I have to be cutting out so much for that video, though. This is actually a good re-up target with 8. I don't really normally keep too much re-up targets on Swift, but this is actually a good one. So yeah, I will probably be using the GBah team. It's just the 3-second faster is pretty nice. Who is Lucifer? Light Demon. And let's actually bump you back up to doing as much damage as possible. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab, which has the dungeon guide archive and the video guide archive, which contains all of the guides that you need. Hope to see you there.